Hello, I am reading again from my book, Waiting for the Morning, My Mother and Daughter's Journey Through Alzheimer's. And we are picking up, I think this is where we were last week. Picking up with April, April the 8th, 1995. We're up at 1 a.m. again, but that's better. Trying to find a best position to not show my fat. uh, we're up at 1 a.m., but that's better than 10 p.m. when my mother had tried to get up earlier, but I tried 10:30 p.m. when I tried to get her when she had tried to get up earlier and I talked her out of it. Her 79th birthday was Thursday. She wasn't too excited about the cake and presents at first, but she did try to blow out the candles. I asked her if she had a good birthday. She said yes, and for a minute I thought I saw just a glimmer of happiness and gratitude. Wednesday, April 12th, 1995. The last few nights have been great, and I've been become spoiled. I keep hoping when we have a few good nights that maybe the sleepless nights are over for good, but no such luck. And as for luck, tonight is the night I took my contact lenses out, and I'm blind as a bat, but I can't put them back in for several hours. We are up at p.m. Thank goodness. Later, okay. I think at that time I was still wearing contacts that I took out maybe once a week. Later on, it became every night, so thank goodness it wasn't like that when I was taking care of my mother. In more recent years, like 10, 12 years ago, I had cataract surgery. I don't need glasses anymore except reading glasses. Just once in a while, like when I read anything that's not a children's book or large print. Okay, Thursday, April 13th, 1995. Now at 2:15 a.m., I can retreat to my nook in the next room now that I have my contacts back in. I had to sit in the same room with my mother until I got them back in because I was afraid I wouldn't see her if she got up from her chair. I'm wide awake now, but nauseous after a glass of Coke, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and a caffeine pill. I can't believe I was taking caffeine pills back in the day. That's crazy. Okay. Friday, April 14th, 1995, at 6:25 tonight p.m. tonight, my mother wanted to go to bed. At 6:30 p.m., she got angry with me for taking her to bed. She says she couldn't sleep on that old hard bed and she wanted to sleep in her other bed, that chair. I told her she would just sleep in bed for a couple hours till I got that much sleep. Then I would be okay and we could get up. She got really angry again, said she was going to talk to that man, going to talk to Myrtle, my sister, going to find someone good to stay with her. I said, okay, I would leave if that was what she wanted. We would take care of it tomorrow. I would tell Myrtle then. She told me I should sleep in the daytime. I told her I had to cook then and clean the house and wash the clothes. She told me that I didn't do anything, that I hardly cooked anything, and so on. She got into bed, but she kept tossing and turning and raising up to look at me. So I said, okay, she could get up if she would let me help her put her robe on. And we got up for another nap. Saturday, April 15th, 1995. I made several mistakes last night before I got my mother back in bed around 9:30 p.m. Around 7:30, she went back to the bedroom and sat on the side of the bed, but didn't get into bed. I sat down to talk to her, and she was all apologetic, but said she couldn't believe she really had said those things to me. She kept on saying that so much, and I tried to tell her why we've never made any attempt to keep the truth from her that she has Alzheimer's. To get her mind off it, I thought maybe we could help her. We could watch another video. It held her attention. It made both of us sleepy enough to get back into bed, but perhaps a movie that late also added to her confusion. Mistake number two was giving her a second Thorazine just before she went back to bed. Just before 2 a.m., she was incontinent. While I was clumsily making an attempt to change the sheets and watch her too, she told me that she would go back to bed when I got it ready. When I finally got it ready, she wouldn't go back. Nor would she put on a robe, nor her wrap over her legs. The house was chilly, so I turned the heat up high for a little while. Mistake number three: the well pump was running, and there was no water after putting the sheets on the watch. I had been told that the pump could burn up if it kept running like that when there was no water coming through. I'd forgotten where the switch was down in the cellar for turning the pump off. So I called my sister in the middle of the night again. She came, and my brother-in-law came with her and turned off the switch. She sat and talked to my mother for a few minutes, only to hear that woman thinks she owns this house. My sister didn't have her usual success at getting her back to go back to bed. I apologized and told my sister and her husband to go on home and back to bed. She was reluctant, but I told her this was something I would just have to wait out. Just before my sister had arrived, my mother had said, "You can take your baby and leave." I don't know what caused that one. An earlier movie last night, not the later one, had gotten her a little set because of some loud noise, and it was one of her favorite movies, Shirley Temple. Perhaps she remembered something from that, and it caused all the confusion. I keep thinking that we may have to completely stop watching movies. She seems to enjoy them so much at times, but I never know when any part of a movie may get her confused and upset. Sunday, uh, April 16th. Okay, today's 17th, so we're going to read them. My mother got up last night after going to bed. She went back to bed at 9:30 p.m., but she got up again at 10 p.m. and wandered through the house. She was convinced there was someone in the house, some child I was not taking care of, I think. And it took turning on all the lights and walking through the house several times to confuse her otherwise. Then she sat in her chair and fell asleep. At about 3:30 this morning, I was so sleepy. I could not stay awake any longer. I lay down on the couch in the next room in a position from which I could see her, but she couldn't see me. I just lay there watching, but I did doze off around 4 a.m. As soon as I fell asleep, she was up out of her chair, picking up her wrap, looking at it, turning it over and over, saying something about giving this ice cream to the little boy. I tried to find out what wanted to play along with it this time. She said the ice cream needed to be put up, that it would melt out here. So I took the wrap to the kitchen. That didn't satisfy her. Then she said the little boy needed his breakfast, so I thought maybe she was saying it was breakfast time. I told her I would start breakfast and set a place for the little boy so he could eat. Then she said he wouldn't eat it, that he wanted ice cream. So I got her some ice cream, thinking she was meaning herself, but when I brought it to her, she said she couldn't give the little boy ice cream because she was crazy. I told her she wasn't, and she just had a disease that made her not remember and that it confused her. I left her then and watched from the next room again. Then she got up to go to the bathroom. I went to help her, and while there, she told me that she wished someone would kill her, that she wanted to die. I tried to comfort her, to tell her how much she's loved. She said that things were just not right and that she wanted to do what was right. but she did not know what to do. I told her that what was right for now would be going back to bed, that she would feel so much better if she would just lie down in bed and get some rest for at least an hour until breakfast time. She did till 7 a.m. She didn't look like she felt much better then, though. She ate most of her breakfast after she used the bathroom. I guess what I said sunk in. She refused a bath and said she wasn't going anywhere today. So I helped her get dressed, and she sat in her chair, had slept for several hours. I didn't think we would be spending Easter Sunday at my sister's, but we did make it, thanks to lovely Sunday weather that allowed me to trick my mother into going by inviting her on a walk to see the flowers. She doesn't realize why we're going. And then by the time we get to my sister's house, it's usually okay, and she enjoys the day once she gets there. Okay, I'm going to read one more because this is exactly 31 years ago today. Monday, April 17th, 1995. We were up last night before midnight with my mother wandering through the house. She was looking for someone and I couldn't figure out whom. Then she said something about her mother. She began talking about some money that needed to be paid to someone. As she sat in her chair, she asked if I had money, and I told her yes, a little, and you can have it if you need it. Then she scolded me. I couldn't figure out why at first, and then it sounded like she was scolding me for letting someone borrow money, which she went on to tell me was why I had money problems. Then she said, they said you'll have to wait till morning. I had told her earlier when she was wandering through the house and talking about money that no one was here and that whatever needed to be done about money could wait till the morning. So she waited, but by sitting in her chair. If it weren't for times like yesterday afternoon, I don't know if I can make it. We were all sitting in lawn chairs under the trees in the backyard at my sister's. My brother insisted we switch chairs when he saw us about to fall asleep in an upright chair. Once, once in the lounge chair, I probably, I probably fell asleep. Uh, Lord, how I miss all my siblings and back home. And those big trees when we would sit out there uh, and they would grill outside and we would eat at the picnic tables and everybody's passed away now. That brother passed away 10 years ago, I'm thinking it was. Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. My sister's husband passed away. The next spring, my last brother passed away. And then my first and third husband, one I was married to twice, passed away. Oh, and also in there, my oldest brother's, the woman he had been married to for years, 30 plus years, passed away too. So it was like accumulated grief like crazy. But I'm thankful because I buried myself in books about grief. My first cousin's daughter, who is a Methodist, he was a Methodist minister. His daughter was a Methodist minister's wife, is a Methodist minister's wife. She's a few years younger than me, but she sent me these like devotional workbook type things for a whole year, like every quarter, I think. So just work through it, and I don't know. And then I have friends too, and I survived. I don't know if I'm all together yet, but I survived. And another thing is, like when I started, when when they had to sell the property back home, I started having to write the children's books I've been writing about back home and about my family. And okay, the latest one is Big Sister's Daffodils, which I'm not going to read to you yet because I'm still reading the cat books to you. I think I read Elsa last week, so we got Tiger and Elsa to read today in just a few minutes. But for now, bye. Be back next week.